Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another TCGScrubs podcast. Once again, as always, with one less Joey and an Oscar.
What's up? How dare Joey not be here?
Right?
As he usually does. Oh, I forgot. I mean, he didn't forget this time, but he might as well have forgotten.
It's same difference at this point. So we'll be talking about a couple things today. So we'll go ahead and let's just jump into it. As always, before we jump into it, big thanks to our patrons, as always, what keep the podcast going here, as well as allow us to do a lot of stuff that I keep mentioning is going to be coming up here soon. I'm moving to my new house here, so I'm going to make some cool stuff happen. It's going to be really pretty, and I'm pretty excited. As always, for the patrons, the mini podcast will be up around the same time as well, so look forward to that. So first, we'll real quick go over the GP that just happened this weekend, which was where, Oscar?
It's in Spain. I forget the actual name of the city, pronunciation. Wow. Something like Malaga. I don't know if it's like technically supposed to be like Spanish, so there's the G is silent. But yeah, somebody can correct us in the comments. I'm sorry.
Is that as an article for that on the website?
It is, and okay. So if y'all guys who were watching remember last time, the London GP, we didn't have any results besides what the top 8 were, and like 2 of the lists that went through. And it was because they were some of the players wanted to keep their list private going into this GP that was this weekend in Spain. But now we have all the information on that. It's been updated. But coming into the Spain one, the article's up, but we only have what the top 8 was with no list yet. So,
okay.
So that's all you're going to see when you go to it.
Let's do a quick breakdown. How many rulers were in top 8, Oscar?
2 different rulers made top 8. We had 7 Shaherazads and 1 Ayu.
How many people were at this GP?
There was 114 players, and I think there was a post. We didn't get a ruler breakdown either, but there was a post that said 45% were Scheherazade.
Huh. That's a good solid number. At least we're seeing that ruler diversity. It's not all 8 are Sherry.
Yeah. So a tier 1.5 made it in.
At least what I said is true. I think there's 3 different types of decks of Sherry that were in top 8.
Yeah.
And I'd said that's something we're going to see just because Sherry is able to literally do anything at once because of how it works with having the 5 extra cards that are instant counters at the start of the game. So you start with a 10-card hand. Mm-hmm. And having 10 cards in your hand works for any type of deck you want to do. And so having an option of quick cast resonators, having green as your base already, green and black most likely gives you access to pretty much a lot of different things. And since we haven't yet entered into the Jeff world of Force of Will, there isn't anything that's specific to a color wheel that green and black can't access. So
yeah,
because of that, you can do control, you can do aggro, you can do sort of weird resurrection decks. You could do whatever you want with the Sherry. So that was shown here with 3 different Sherrys. But at the end of the day, it's 7 Sherrys in the top 8 and a random IU, which I don't know how that snuck in there, but that's kind of cool.
I was kind of excited though when they said about the. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with several different things. When they said the top 8 was Scheherazads, but that they're like, oh, but there was blue Scheherazads. And I was like, oh, blue is really interesting. I wonder what they did that was different. It's like, oh, they ran blue so I can throw in 4 of those Kansas Millennia Bonds, and then like a couple, I think, of Bear Magic, I think it was, or 1 Bear Magic maybe. I forget the total, but
oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I was looking for the list to give you the exact numbers, but I lost it. I don't know where it went.
Wow, they ran blue. They must be running. Oh, nope. Blue has cancels too. Yep. So yeah, as you guys have heard from other podcasts, I'm not too happy about that. But it is what it is right now. I'm more looking forward to the Wanderer GP than anything right now, just to see something different than Sherry. But who knows? Maybe Wanderer's just as bad. and I'll be super disappointed.
Well, I know Driz was he posted in the US group that he was gonna be streaming on Twitch, and I tuned in for a few minutes, and he was testing a Scheherazade list. So see how that goes.
I don't think. Well, see, I don't know what's big in Wander. Maybe some of her cancels, or some of her extra deck cards, lend themselves to Wander. But from what I'd heard, Sherry isn't that big of a deal in Wander.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, and again, they're play testing, so I mean, they can come to a whole different type of result in the end.
Oh yeah,
for all we know. But again, I guess to start there isn't bad because again, it's all about the fact that you have the whole extra 5 cards and the whole extra hand essentially access to, which I don't see any downside to why not run her. It just depends on what you're now going to tech into the deck that is available in Wanderer format. Are we going to see some Regalias come in? Are we going to see some old Resonators come in that we haven't seen in a while? Stuff like that.
And it's like the fact that I'm sorry, I lost my thought. I had 2 thoughts and then I lost one of them halfway through, and so I was trying to readjust. But and that's not including if in the next set they introduce more cards that you can use in your extra deck, which would be ridiculous. But
I mean,
it would.
I would set the expectation.
Counters Turbo.
Yeah. I mean, Severing Winds did that. Oh, but Severing Winds is banned there, right? Wander?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm seeing people play the Turbo instead of Feet Sing. It looks like they're just using Favor. I don't understand why, because I thought the whole Turbo point was, to
do it
token creation, yeah.
But it still counters the Fair as well, right? Pretty sure. But so it's able to counter that.
Go ahead.
Oh no, it's able to counter that. If they're able to get the Gwyber out, you can side deck in the card that destroys a light Resonator.
Yeah.
To help with that. Not to mention all the flying hate that's inside of the game. So I don't think Turbo Gwyber would still be a thing. I don't know what his big things are. Well, I've heard of what the big things are, but I can't recall on the top of my head. I don't know if you remember what the couple big rulers were in Wander.
I'm sorry, I had just found that blue list. I just wanted to verify real quick. It was right. It was just the 4 extra cancels or 3 extra cancels and the 1 water transformation, and then 2 what's it called? Parasol, right? The recover a chant from graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Go ahead with your question.
So you can play more cancels.
Yeah, so you can recover those cancels or low rights. You're saying though?
No, I was asking if you knew what the big rulers were in Wander. I forget off the top of my head. I know there's 2 that were bigger.
No, I mean, I haven't heard anything about Wander or even just play. Oh, I remember. Yeah, okay, maybe I remember. This is probably before the Fox bannings though, and that was Fox was a big one, and somebody else was. I can't remember who it was though.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Ahamat. The OTK Ahamat was another thing.
Oh, yeah, that was still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is. But
yeah, we've had bannings since then that may have affected them, yeah.
Man, how depressing would it be if the Wander GP happened and it was still just all Sherry's again?
I'd hate to say it, but I feel like that would hurt the game.
I think it would. It would for sure deter anyone from doing Wander, because what's the point of doing Wander if it's the same toxicity as New Frontiers?
Let me correct what I said. Is it won't hurt the game necessarily. What it'll hurt is the people who are watching this, who need that reason to stop playing or need that reason to complain about something. It would hurt those people and push them away. Now, I know some people say we don't need those people anyways if we're going to be like that, but just their attitude affects others' attitudes, and it would cause a bunch of people to be pushed away. I feel they have that mentality.
Yeah. When I seen a conversation about possibly e-banning, I don't know if they're asking to e-ban Sherry or not, which I'll reiterate. I don't think Sherry is the problem. I think the cards in her extra deck are the problem.
Right.
But e-banning her might be the only way to fix this. But if you do that, I guess her story deck cards would still be useful. So it's not that big a deal. It's not like they become completely useless in the same way that some of the Chimeras and Fox would be useless and stuff like that. But And
I just don't think she needs to be banned at all on any front.
I don't think she does either. I think some of the cards need to be banned. However, if something like that happened at the Wanderer GP, then I'd be fine with her being banned at that point, because at that point it becomes a perception of the game. So it's something I had said a while back where you got to take into account not necessarily what's best for the like competitive scene, or what, like, whether it's the correct thing to ban Sherry or the other things. You got to care about what people perceive the game as at this point in time. If it was a big game like Magic, it wouldn't matter, because you'd be like, this is the correct thing to do. You guys will figure it out down the road that this was the correct thing to do once it all balances itself out. And yeah, that's probably the correct thing to do. But at this point in time, when the game's trying to build back up from hitting 3 different super toxic themes in the past 2 years, was it 2 years ago that Baja Blast was a thing?
It was about 3, because we're on season 4 of competitive season. That was probably like season 1. It saw that.
Well, every year we had Baja Blast, we had Reflect Refrain, which was a big deal. Then we had Fox and Prisha, and now we have Sherry. So it's this successive theme. So the perception is not good. So new players trying to come in are going to see that type of thing, or get told that type of thing from the community and not want to join. Current players are going to just get upset by Sherry just not being banned, when they're like, hey, you waited on Reflect Refrain, and then you eventually banned her too late. You waited on Fox and Prisha, you eventually made the correct bans, but it was too late. So they're going to perceive this to be that. So it'd be better for the game to just ban Sherry, so that public perception is better for the game at this stage where it hit a road bump and is trying to build itself back up, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's the correct thing to ban Sherry. I'm just saying it might be good for this stage of the game just to ban it, and maybe unban it with the next cluster once it has enough answers and can be, but just ban it right now. Especially the big thing that I always look at isn't at the competitive scene, although that's, obviously annoying, because it's like, what I've always compared Force of Will that it was to Pokemon. When Pokemon was a thing, I was like, I'd always root for the underdog deck, or like the one that I like the Pokemon for. So Charizard decks, I'd be like, oh man, Charizard, or like some other deck that has Pokemon I like. Force of Will has the potential to be the same thing of like, oh man, I'm going to watch the competitive thing, and that person who has Keurig I'm rooting for because I love Keurig, or that person who runs Shayla, I'm rooting for them, and stuff like that. And so it helps bring up the competitive community. So if it's all Sherry's, it's like there's no one to really like, there's nothing exciting to watch, there's nothing to root for. So bringing in diversity on that level would help. But I sidetracked there. But what I was going to say, and what I care about, is the local level, because that's where the game is, that's where the base is, that's where the money that the company makes is at, and that's where 99.999% of the players are at, and what they care about is the local level. So if Sherry becomes oppressive at the local level, where people don't want to come to the locals because they either have to play Sherry or play against Sherry, which they might find neither fun, then that's where it hurts the game. So an E-ban, even with no GPs on the horizon, which I had saw, I'm going to mention Jeremy here. Jeremy had said there's no reason to E-ban because there's no really GPs where Sherry's going to be used, which is a good point, but I would definitely bring in the local aspect, because I think that's where the lifeblood of the game is, and if it affects the locals, then you should look into something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like our locals right now, one, I missed this weekend. So Lee listened to us last week, so if you're listening to Lee, my bad. I actually woke up really late today. I woke up earlier in the day, and I fell back to sleep, and I woke up like at 4 p.m. But anyways, our locals, we created like a fun format, I guess you can say, to test out for the weekend, where green was just completely banned. You couldn't use any green cards. It's more of like a just for fun thing, so it's not anything super serious. But we wanted to see where it would go, like not having anything green. Also because Lee wanted to run Shayla, to see how that went.
Yeah.
But I missed it, and I mean, probably didn't happen because Colin didn't go either. So that's 3 down from our pretty small locals that we have.
Yeah. I had a legit excuse to not go, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been easy for me because I have 2 decks that don't run green at all in them.
Yeah, and I have one. I have that, what's it called? Dark Elves deck.
Scheherazade.
Dark Elves?
Yeah. You don't run a Severing in it?
No.
Interesting.
That's why whenever we've played, I've never Severing you.
I just assume that's because you're bad.
No.
No, that's a separate thing.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Those are different misplays.
But that's my thoughts on that GP results. What you have any other thoughts on that, Oscar?
No, I mean, well, I guess yes. I just don't see.
Hold on, real quick. I just want to point out. I'm sure people have noticed. Every time I ask Oscar something like that, his response is always no, and then he goes on to say a response.
Well, it's like I'm like that with everything. You guys are like, we're hanging out. Oscar, you want to eat? No, we don't care. But I don't want this, or this, and then we go. But anyways, yeah, no, I just feel like Scheherazade does not need to be banned. I don't think there needs to be any modifications to the card the way it works, because they wouldn't do that. The whole errata scenario they've already pitched how they would work with it. I mean, maybe ban a card, whether that's Ruined Story or what's the other one called? Scarlet's Agony. I feel like those two are really like the big hitters. Like, I got everything going right. I'm going against the Scheherazade deck, and I think you get this really big swing in, boom, swing big. You know, I'm gonna stop it from attacking. It's like, well, dang, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's certain things in the story deck that need to be removed. Now, also, are we going to see more story items? I do believe we will. Will they be really good? It's a possibility, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and the problem isn't even if they're really good. If they're at least average, just adding the diversity and picks you can have for your story deck, that alone makes it even stronger. Even if the cards are just average, like say the one that we have right now that destroys a gem or banishes a gem and destroys a light resonator, that's halfway decent. If light ever became a big thing, that's a good counter to it. So it's just something to have in your back pocket so that it can change as the meta changes. So it never goes under the meta because it has counters to anything that could push its way to the top of the meta.
Yeah. But we'll see where it goes. I'm really excited to see the Wander events in 3 weeks. See the direction that takes, where everybody takes. I already joked with you, like, if I do go, which is a big if still. It hasn't changed on any weeks, but I guess I shouldn't say what I would run in case I do go. I'd want to be surprised. It's a joke deck, by the way. I just want to go hang out and film.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I think that sort of goes into some things we can talk about from the stream that happened. If you guys missed that, there's a summary video that I did that posted up over the weekend summarizing the stream and the main points from it as best as I could. I didn't watch it. I'm just going off of Oscar's bullet points. So I don't have context for a lot of it, but I did the best I could.
And a good amount of it was me just trying to type on the fly as he was saying things. So a lot of it's like maybe a broken up idea going to another idea, or somebody asked a question but I didn't show Colin how to differentiate like the question from the answer. And some of them were just statements. So it's like he probably didn't know 100% on how to answer certain things or read certain things from my notes.
Yeah. Also, before I forget to mention, also over the weekend, an interview came out that Field Marshal Klaus did with the creator of Eldritch Kingdom card game, which it looks like a really cool card game. So you guys should go check that out whenever you get a chance, because it looks pretty cool and interesting, and it was a good interview. But during the stream, he did address the power balance of green. And so, Oscar, did you want to just bullet point what he had talked about green?
I mean, we didn't talk about how I was going to do this on the spot, Colin. I don't remember everything, to be honest. I'm trying to remember.
So he had mentioned, you told me he had mentioned that it was going to be addressed in R4, but I think someone said it was actually in the next cluster, he said, not in R4.
Which I thought was a little strange. I could have swore he said in R4 there's an answer. When someone goes, no, it was in here, of course I'm going to have doubt and be like, oh, wait, did he say that? I might be wrong. I kind of want to go back and double check, but that's a 2.5 hour stream. I'm not going to go through that again. But the reason why I thought that is because I even posted in the chat. I said, hey, there's an answer to Scheherazade in the next set. is this an answer that she's going to run, much like the way Reflective Frame ran Black Moonbeam, which he never answered it. He didn't get to it, and I was busy typing these notes out. I didn't get to ask it again. But because I mean, that's a really big question. Is like if it's an answer to Scheherazade and other Scheherazade's run it to answer other Scheherazades, you know, like what kind of answer do they truly make?
Which they've done several times. That type of scenario where it's like, it's this answer. It's like the green card that just came out, the quick cast that gets rid of counters that answers fairer, but it's a green card, so it's just the cycle of green. So like if the answer to Sherry is a green card, I will voice my opinion on that when that happens. But so there's that, and he did say that they are addressing, or that the next not necessarily the next set of R4, but the next cluster will be the fresh start as far as addressing the color wheel correctly, where each color actually does what it's supposed to, and having a separate ruler wheel for the rulers or something like that.
The term used was pies, but yeah, you're getting it.
Well, it's the same thing.
And I'm assuming it's, again, just the color of the rulers designed to do certain things. I would really like to see blue get the cancels as opposed to green getting them.
I don't know, because I feel like green is fine with the cancels. It just can't have all the other stuff. Because blue gives you draw power. Draw power is a big thing with blue. So if you had draw power and cancels, being able to draw into blue cancels, I think would be very strong. As well as blue also tends to have things like search function, or should have things like search function and stuff like that.
I always felt blue had draw and bounce is what I think of when I think of blue. Yeah, draw and bounce.
Draw and bounce and like control type stuff like bear magic and all that. Blue should not have stuff that can capitalize on that inherently, like being able to destroy the bear. It shouldn't be able to do that. It shouldn't be able to search out other really strong blue cards such as cancels or destruction or anything like that. It should just be able to control pretty well. Maybe blue should have stuff like Scorn of Dark Alice, like those ones that you look at your opponent's hand. Maybe I'm not too familiar with house. Huh?
I thought that's a black thing though.
But is it a black thing because we've only seen it in black, or is it a black thing because controlling your opponent's hand should inherently be inside of a black deck?
Both of those.
Okay.
Well, it's like saying should cancels only be green because we've only ever seen them in green, or because they're inherently in green. It's just, you just asked me the same question as the other one, but you felt differently.
No, I didn't say it should be. Cancel should be in green because they've always been in green. I said it feels like it works better in, like, green works for cancels. If you put it into blue, which, as we both agreed, blue is more like drawing and bouncing and searching. Being able to search for blue cancels, I feel like, is a step over. And then what does green get after that? So green should be stuff like cancels and all that. Maybe a little bit of buffs and stuff like we've seen with rapid growth and stuff like that.
And what about like giving swiftness, because it's been doing that a lot over time history?
I don't think green should give swiftness. No.
Okay.
Things like giving swiftness should be more so a red, and like maybe I'm trying to think in my head of what the wheel would look like, but for sure red.
I feel like
red should be swiftness.
Yeah, I feel like red has swiftness, not give swiftness necessarily. That's how I feel.
No, because things like Sprinting Flame Horse that people run in red decks, mono red decks all the time, is because red cards either have swiftness or they're really strong cards that could be really strong if they had swiftness. So having one cost to give them swiftness is really good. And so I think that just works well inside of red decks.
Senior opinion,
making red decks beefy.
Senior opinion on all the other colors. What does white do? Real quick, what does white do when you think of white, and then what should white do? It's two different questions.
See, white is a weird one. I can think of something. White is.
But what does it do? What does it do when you think of it?
When I think of white, I think of the only thing that comes in my head is unique shit. Like white gets thrown all the weird stuff to do. Like white gets the gem pandas. White gets the Imul flips. It got the what was the other one? Got another weird one too. I feel like white was used for a lot of the shift cards. It was, yeah. There was a couple of them. So I feel like white just gets thrown weird shit. But whenever I think of white, I think of like stuff like zero, stuff like removing stuff, whether that's removing attributes, flying and all that stuff, or removing stuff from the game, like Zero's Magic Light, or like the 2-cost card that removes your Resonator from game and bounces back in, or like Orfika that bounces stuff. I guess I think of like bouncing, removal from game, and control over Resonators. Not necessarily full-on control like blue would have, but control over Resonator stats type of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's
I mean,
what pops in my head.
What pops in my head is just life gain. Life gain pops in my head when I think
life gain. That's life gain and flying. I feel like yellow I associate with flying. I don't know if that's the correct thing to associate, but
no, I don't associate it. Also, looking at shift cards, they only had 2 cards that were white on a side. They were shift.
They're probably the only good ones, though.
The Alice one wasn't great.
Alice one, I guess so.
And Refrain never got used. You use it. That's why it's
it is great. I feel like Reflect Refrain was a very underutilized card. Complete and utter destruction of your opponent's field, everything. That's really strong, I felt.
It wasn't just your opponent. It was both players' field. So I guess nobody wanted to set themselves back.
Yeah, but it's relatively... It can't be targeted by spells or abilities. So it was easy just to have it in the corner, put the counters up, and then... break glass in case of emergency type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that would be how I think of that. Yeah, but like for example, you were talking about hand control for black. When I think of black, I think of straight up just destruction and negative counters on things like that. Maybe buffing stuff pretty strong that has other effects. It doesn't have anything that controls outside of hand control. So hand control just feels kind of weird inside of a black deck.
It has other control, like preventing... Yeah, it has destruction, like destroy a Resonator. And it has the hand control. It has Abdul, who stops automatic abilities. And the original even Abdul Ruler stopped enter abilities. And, I mean, stuff like that. So that's why I feel like it's more of a control color than even blue would be.
Yeah, but I feel like blue works better as control and should be the correct control. So I think they should if they were to take one thing away from black, it would be the hand control. I think they should take away hand control and make it so they just have field control.
Mm-hmm.
As far as destruction, like you said, stopping abilities and doing field effects should be a big thing for black, I think. Stuff like that.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
Where were we before this?
We were talking about the stream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the color wheel and how they're going to be identifying it a lot more going into the next cluster. So, yeah, we'll see what the direction it takes. As always, I'm going to say, like I say every year, if we had been doing something like this, is I'm excited to see where the next cluster goes. I'm excited to see the previous set to rotate, so Lapis cluster to rotate and see it gone. And I'm excited to see the direction that the new cluster goes because I feel like it's definitely going to start fixing things. I feel like each year it's taking a step closer up and up and up. I'm going to say the stairs, up higher and higher on the stairs till it gets to that floor it needs to be on. But I think everybody wants it to be like make leaps and bounds up to this next flight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it has to make leaps and bounds, I think, in the next cluster. Especially, I had the similar thing for Rhea cluster. I had extremely high hopes for it. We're rotating out all the OP crap, all the regalia. Lapis cluster was really strong, but we were told that Rhea cluster was going to down the power level extremely, and we saw that in Ancient Knights. It was a very low power level, with the exception, I think, of like one card. It was a really low power level, especially compared to Lapis cluster. So I was like, all right. I mean, some of this might not see play right away, but, it'll all be weaker cards that work really strong with each other as the cluster goes on, and when cluster rotates, we'll have a perfect format type of thing. And then they just went and made really strong cards out of nowhere for no reason. There was no motivation to make crap that strong, especially with Farrer and Sherry and the other green cards, Otherworld and all that. It's just so weird. And so now it's in the same position where I'm like, okay, Lapis is going to rotate. That's great. And next cluster, we're going to get the power level down. We're going to get it nice and cleaned up with the color wheel. And now I just got to wait one more year for the cluster to rotate. And then the game will be perfect where it's at. Which I think this is more likely than any other time because of Jeff. I think I have much higher hopes. But, it does suck that we're having that same sort of thought again.
I feel like, though, that Lapis cluster started off slow. Curse of Frozen Casket wasn't good at all. It was pretty low power level. Is when in the next.
But the starter decks were had some strong stuff in them.
I mean, it had Featsing and Sacred Elf and Thunder, and that was it. That's all those starter decks brought to the board. Those 3 cards.
But there's some others.
And Thunder fell off after a while. No, what others? Name one other that comes to mind immediately. I said that already. I said Thunder. I meant Lightning Strike, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I'm corrected. You're a dumb person.
But name one other thing. What did it have?
Well, let me think here. Magic Sweets was good.
It was okay. It wasn't anything amazing.
Card. Once again, underutilized.
Okay.
The problem is the color wheel. It made it so.
But we're not talking about what was underutilized and what was good. It's like
0 was big from Curse of Frozen Casket.
Okay.
That was big for a while. Well, you're saying it was low power level. 0 was freaking strong.
I said with the exception of a couple cards. Melfi was good, and it was in that set. My point is...
Melfi's great. Yeah, no, you get out of here.
It wasn't as high of a power level as you were making it sound. I know, I just said Melfi was good. What are you talking about? Get out of here. Yes.
I said Lapis as a whole. I never said the first set.
I know, but I'm just trying to say it started off slow. That's what I'm getting at, is it started off slow. It didn't get up really good until LEO.
There's a difference between starting off slow and starting off with what looks very promising. I felt Ancient Knights was different. Like, it wasn't slow. Everything felt like it had a purpose, just a far lower power level purpose. Curse the Frozen Casket felt like, here's the couple good cards and here's a bunch of shitty cards. And then LEL was like, here's all the crazy stuff.
That's what I'm saying. LEL is when it really took off.
Yeah, but we were also promised that the cluster as a whole for a Rhea cluster was going to be a lower power level. Mm-hmm. And that was instantly thrown out the window with 80k. Like, smash that crap to pieces. But yeah, now...
I am sad.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about...
Yeah, we're still on the what you call it, the stream. I was sad that you, in your recap, I watched it, by the way, to make sure you had it all down right, which you overall did. I was sad, though, when you said, yes, Welser is going to have a few cards coming in A4. You didn't mention his joke he had, that those new cards he felt people would require like a math PhD to fulfill the requirements of using those cards. Because I'm guessing there are like a lot of math involved with them.
Because I'm ignoring all your fluff, man.
How's that fluff? That's like what he said.
It's fluff. What did I contribute?
The fact that these are probably going to be high, like, thinking cards. Like, oh, do this if your life's at this number, and then minus this, and I don't know, stuff like that.
And we've had that before, though.
With what?
With Dark Red Riding Hood, right? Was that the one that did it? It's like, has like an enter effect, has another effect if you do this other thing, and then it has effects at like 3,000 life, 2,000 life, 1,000 life, something like that.
Yeah, I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, you could get out of here before you sound familiar.
I like to put you on the spot. I like to hear. You're like, oh, that sounds like this. What was that, Colin? I like when you don't know, though.
Well, it's not that I don't know. It's that you put me on the spot and I get all nervous.
I like to do that, though. Anyways, moving on. Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead. Moving on. So, you want to do the fun thing?
What was the fun thing?
You know. The fun thing.
What was it?
Us reading something.
Oh, yeah, that thing. I was going to say, though, is that he showed those coins off, and I'm excited to see those be made, if they get made, or something similar to that. Because he's trying to see if people want alternative products, like, dice bags and coins for Energize and all that. That was cool.
Yeah, if someone has those coins, I want to buy them. But but that'd probably be a pain on the butt here. But I'm trying to. I want to get that. Someone was selling those, and they had the iMule, and I was about to mention them, and I saw that was the first one that they sold was the iMule, and I was super bummed out.
Was that when Alex Blandon was selling them?
It might have been. There was someone else who was selling them, so I was trying to remember who it was, but someone had it. I want to get iMule, Keurig. Does it have Panda? Do they have Panda?
It's everything.
Everything? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I need iMule, Keurig, and Panda. Those are my 3 I want. I mean, there's probably more that I want, but mainly iMule is my top dog, and then Panda.
I'll have them on screen so everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. There's a really good image that one of the groups had posted. I think from the country they were made in, which was Malaysia.
Malaysia? So, we had done... If you guys haven't seen, we pretty often have been posting Epic Stories gameplay that we stream to Twitch, twitch.tv/TCGScrubs. And we're sort of random when we post there. We're going to... Since we're like $2 away or something like that from our Patreon goal, which would allow it... Once we hit that goal, we do weekly Twitch streams that are actually scheduled. We'll probably start doing that once I get all situated in my new house and all that. So stay tuned for that. And it won't just be Epic Stories. It'll be a lot of different stuff, whatever we feel like doing.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see if we can all stream. Like, there's 3 of us. Like, everybody gets like 1 night of the week. Do three nights.
Yeah.
And
depending on our availability and stuff.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and that could also be an option for our patrons as well. If the ones who want to do the monthly gameplay video could also instead just do the stream with us as well, because that could be pretty fun.
I think we've even discussed just other games as well, just being streamed, just to keep that consistency going. Like MTG Arena was what Joey was talking about.
Yeah, so Joey might just do MTG Arena once a week, and then once a week, I'll probably do just regular either New Frontiers or Epic Stories, and then Oscar will do whatever Oscar does. Maybe I'll do Clash Royale. Do you guys play Clash Royale? That's technically a card game.
Nobody plays it.
Clash Royale. I'm really good at it.
That's because you're the only person who plays it.
I'm so nah. I'm gonna. Yeah, no, don't even worry about it. I like 2v2s though, so it'd be cool to do 2v2s with Joey. Joey's pretty bad.
But yeah,
so basically, each time we post this though, this gentleman, Black Candyman Shop, does this really funny thing where he watches it, and as he's watching it, he does a sort of types out a commentary.
Yeah, turn-by-turn commentary. I like reading these. I didn't see this latest one, but I like when he does these.
Yeah, they're hilarious. I'll have to...
I mean, they're great.
I want him to... Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I was going to say, I want him to like watch our game sometime and just record himself commentating it and then just send us the audio, and we'll totally upload that. Yeah. That would be hilarious.
But what I was going to say is like he's just not afraid to tear into us. Be like, oh, geez, Colin, or geez, Oscar, you had it right here. What'd you do? Oh, no, you did the thing. Why? That's kind of how it goes in my head.
So... We're going to go over his most recent one, our most recent Epic Stories. It was posted this past Thursday, if you guys want to go watch it. It was pretty fun. It had a pretty interesting finale to it.
Pretty heavy misplay on my end as well. Just it's kind of, I feel like, game-changing misplay, but yeah.
I think he mentions it.
Yeah.
So it starts off the game, and he mentions what we're all playing. So he's at Colin Pandora, makes fun of Pandora's derp face, Oscar's Xion flute. He says, sweet ruler comp, bonus points on going mono water for Oscar. He was disappointed that Joey doesn't have a new deck. And he said, he commented on, for that first minute, we didn't have audio for Oscar and Joey, so I put in my own audio from my best memory of what they had said.
I forgot you did that. I want to go listen to it now.
It's great. Don't worry. I totally replicated exactly what you guys said.
We'll find out here at this next comment. Go ahead.
He said, ouch, the first minute trash talk commentary is even more cringier than my own. Give you guys a preview of what it was. So He commented on my hand, commenting that I had a soul in my hand, and he said that's interesting. He said, I guess, why not? It's the one that you put in, and it grabs a basic. If the top card of your stone deck is a basic magic stone, you get to put it into your field. He said, gave a thumbs up for Joey. He said, I like where this is going, Oscar. First blood for blue. He said, when you swan in for your 100 with your bug.
Yeah.
He said, all right, only 7,900 more points of damage, and Colin dies to a lowly bug. How poetic. He said, bonus points for playing around discard by not drawing with flute. Still doubt that Colin will target you, though. And then he was like, you target Oscar, the draw engine deck. Why not, I guess? You at least got a hook on it, I guess. So he's making fun of me because my deck was basically making other people discard. And so I was making Oscar discard because I wanted to, because he was annoying me by being able to draw cards. And he, once again, gave you a thumbs up for a good call on not drawing a card with your flute. And you played a hydromonica, so he did his little X face of like, wow.
That's like really difficult to get those hydromonica. That one hydromonica, for those not familiar, the format is one card of every card allowed. So it's really difficult to make sure you get that hydromonica out.
Yeah. And then I played my stone. He's like, let's see if that hole hits something. He's like, and I hit a basic magic stone. He's like, this should not have worked that smoothly. and he commented how I only run 4 basic magic stones.
Yeah.
So he got mad at Joey because Joey runs Age-Hit Magic and he wasn't grabbing it. And Colin randomly changing targets again, who had not seen that coming. And I think he made fun of one of us for the way we said black. We said it like blaka or something like that. And he said that that's not a valid color or attribute in Force of Will. So let me try and find something cool.
I like the format a lot, yeah.
He commented on me calling Mephilicit. I just call Mephififi, so he made fun of me playing that, I guess. He said, to be honest, I stopped the video and had a blank stare on my face for about 1 to 2 minutes or so. If I could have flipped a table, I would have done it. And then I flipped Pandora and made you and Joey discard all your cards. And he said that was a good move on my end. So I made you discard 7 cards or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I killed your doctor, and he said, not the doctor.
That doctor's great in that deck once you get it going. It's just like tap, flute, draw a card. Tap.
He's talking about Dr. Mermaid.
Yeah, tap the doctor, recovered flute, tap doctor, draw a card, recover.
I made a comment that I'm pretty sure Oscar only runs that because he watches Doctor Who.
No. I run it because of the great ability.
And he said, yeah, the trash talk will definitely bite you in the ass. And he commented that we take pretty long on our turns this time around. But we definitely went faster than usual, but this time around I didn't cut out all the pauses that Joey has, so that could be it. But for us playing in live, it was way faster than usual. But I didn't cut out all the blank space that Joey might have had. Because Joey is a person.
I know.
Give me a thumbs up.
He's always done that. It's annoying.
I don't know why either. Like literally, he literally had a turn where he had 0 cards in hand and still took a solid like 2 minutes thinking about his turn. And I was like, I don't even know what he was thinking about. And I think he ended up just passing turn anyways. It was ridiculous. He's like, Reed boy, you activated my Trapu-Karu. And he said, here's another contender for epic anime betrayals. Or not, Joe go backstab Colin. He deserves it. What the heck? because Joey almost backstabbed me, but ended up not doing it. And he commented on Oscar not J activating. And more activation. Here, if you wanna mention something while I find another good spot. If you want to talk about that.
I definitely want to see what everybody's interest in rulers are. I'll definitely build whatever rulers everybody recommends in chat or in the comments below. I was just looking at golems right now. I was like, oh man, can you make golems a thing? Because usually, if something's really bad in a normal format, it's usually pretty good when you look at it in this Epic Stories format. So I was just looking over Pandora. She only has 19 golems. I'm hoping some more come out this next set. Surprisingly, the most of them came out during Advent of the Demon King. So she's only white, so she can only run the white ones. I have to find another ruler that has other attribute colors on it to allow me the other golems to really make use of Pandora doing whatever Pandora can actually do. So if you have recommendations, guys, let me know.
So winding down here, this is the quote, my favorite quote. Colin, you have no friends in this match, only victims. He's like, yep, that's a pretty good board wipe. And you hit Oscar. Okay, I guess. And then he, in response to Oscar drawing a Mosasaurus for his theme, he said, Moza, what? Why? Pass? And then for me, he was like, wait, are you still asking if Joe attacks you? And then he's like, yes, Oscar told you. You should have kept Joey locked out. That random discard at the end was your undoing. Colin, you never learned. TT. Joe wins.
Spoilers, Joey won. If you guys are going to watch.
But it's the journey and how Joey won that is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good game.
Joey would have had a new deck, but we kind of surprised him the night of, like, you ready, Joey? We're going to play Epic Stories. He's like, what? Because he hadn't had time to make his new deck yet. Yeah. Colin also had the same deck as last time. I'm the only one who had something to do.
Yeah, I'm moving and stuff. If we won't be doing, or at least you and Joey might do stream or something this week, but I won't because I don't have interwebs until next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll try and before next week, I'll try and make a new deck. I had an idea to bring together a group of remarkable rulers that could prove to be fun. I keep having really fun ideas.
So,
also, I might not because Avengers comes out this week, and I'm going to be very preoccupied just thinking about that movie and watching it.
Mm-hmm. I already have some other ideas. I'm gonna construct some deck ideas I have. I know we wanted to record one. We recorded one, guys, and it was misplayed heavily on both mine and Colin's, and Melissa played it very well, though. But, Colin, you want to tell them what you did? How you messed up? I'll tell them how I messed up. Guys, I messed up because I was playing my Xion wrong, the Resonator wrong the entire time, just as I did in this video. Joey's who brought it to my attention. I was applying her buff, a defense ability, forever, not on her enter. Not just her enter, which is what it is, just on enter. Second is, I think when we played real life, Colin, you're telling me I played Umer, which is a 7 cost, because I'm always getting confused that it's not a 5 cost, it's a 7 cost, which I did at pre-release with him. I played him probably a couple of times when I shouldn't have during pre-release of that set. But what did you do, Colin?
Oh, I forgot that Machina only searches Resonators and Editions, and I'd used him to search out Regalia as well.
Mm-hmm. Recycling Regalia like crazy. I would destroy like his Levitine. He'd be like, oh, okay, it's destroyed. Sacking Horn, reshuffling the graveyard back in. And you know what? I'm going to use his ability to search for it on your turn, Oscar, and he'd search Levitine back out and put it in hand. It was really aggravating. Me and Melissa had to work away just to get rid of it out of game, just to remove that card.
Yeah, that's yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to. Well, we will. We'll record another live match at another point because it was well filmed.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree.
And it was really fun playing in real life.
It really is. That Xion deck works better in real life than it does on the computer at all. No matter what you use, I think Untap or Lackey, it's just a difficult ruler to work with.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely, like I've said it before, this is my favorite format above all any other format. Even New Frontiers, Wander, any of that, I actually prefer this over all of it.
At where New Frontiers is at right now, I'd probably agree. It's a lot of fun, both because you could be competitive with it, but even if you're competitive with it, there's the randomization is so crazy that it doesn't matter really. It's just having fun essentially.
Yeah, it's the randomization of the amount of players you have and how people will take certain sides in the beginning and switch over. Or some people are like, no, I'm not taking any sides. I'm lone dogging it, and then all of a sudden they become the target and all these different things. So it depends on the play group you're playing with. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, and also, oh boy, what was I just gonna say? Yeah, it's really fun. That's what I was gonna get to. And oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure I've only won one game of Epic Stories, not including the one. Well, I guess technically two, out of all the times we've played. But I have fun no matter what. Like it's just great.
Yeah, there's times as like I don't care if I lose, if I can troll somebody a little bit or get whatever combo I designed into it out, at least in some methods. Like, I did it. All right, yep, nope, that was the deadly swing that killed me. All right, cool game, and just watch how everybody goes. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How many have I won? I won one. I remember that I shouldn't have won because again I was playing the ruler wrong based on the wording of a Valhalla card.
Probably. We also have Valhalla cards now, so we can do that in real life.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I got a Chronos ruler. I'm really looking forward to trying to use it. See what it's like.
Yeah, like I said, I got some ideas.
Yeah.
Don't you guys worry. But if you guys have ideas, you should let us know and send them to us on Discord or something.
I have an article on the website that we've mentioned before by Frank, kind of going over what it's about. I'm going to do another post on there where it's just got the rules as well as ban lists within the format to kind of help you guys better understand it and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I like to see some sort of side event at GPs like they talked about. If that was to happen, Valhalla's not legal at all.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, usually Valhalla isn't legal in Epic Stories. That's fine, though. That would be... I think Epic Stories as a side event would be super fun. But, that being said, any other last thoughts here, Oscar?
No. It was a fairly slow week for us. We're really pulling, making this happen, and no Joey, and so it's a short week. Short podcast this week.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to pay attention to a lot of stuff because of all the stuff going on. Don't have internet right now. That's why stuff is weird. I don't know. Still figuring out if I'll be able to do the news this Wednesday. If some big news happens, maybe I'll do it. Try and go out of my way to do it. But if not, I might. If it's just the GP, I can't think of any other news that's really happened. So I might just end up not doing it just because all the stuff, both internet and me packing, it's just going to be a pain in the butt. But if something big happens, I'll be sure to make it just so you guys know what's going on. It just might not be as fancy as I usually do.
Yeah, so just overall slow week. We'll bounce back the following week and kind of come back a little stronger.
Yeah.
Make it worth watching our stuff again, guys.
But yeah, so that'll be good, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.